strategy is to take a crack in our society and turn it into a chasm.
Senator King saying Americans must learn to spot fake news the way they brush off made-up supermarket tabloid stories. Andy Field, ABC News, Washington.
Apple is offering a new way to unlock its new iPhone X. Just stare at it. The new facial recognition technology replaces the fingerprint sensor found on other models. Face ID is one of the features exclusive to the iPhone X, which comes out Friday for $1,000, $300 more than the iPhone 8. Linda Lopez.
Your
ABC
Pizza
News.
time is 7:04. Good evening. I'm Sean Torres in the Bob Allen Ford Newsroom with this hour's top stories. The city of Ottawa is set to grab a little more electricity generated by wind power. The city commission heard a proposal to buy at least 5 megawatts from the Buckeye Wind Farm project near Hayes, Kansas. Utilities Director Dennis Tharp says he could go higher than 5 megawatts.
Okay, we have not filled that number out, and so if I have that number to present to you on Wednesday, are you good with that at that point in time?
That's a discussion we have on Wednesday.
Yeah, okay. I don't think that. I think that's a great decision, quite honestly. You know, to go ahead and move on that many megawatts. I just wanted to make sure that we understand what we're doing.
So, are you comfortable with 8? If Dennis brings back 8? Dennis, are you comfortable with 8?
Yes, I would be comfortable with 10, quite honestly. You know, because I do believe we're going to have that 5 to 10 megawatts of proximity.
The City Commission is expected to approve an agreement at its regular meeting this evening. The city already buys some power from a different wind farm. With Domestic Violence Awareness Week only a couple weeks past, the Kansas Bureau of Investigation published the 2016 Kansas Domestic Violence, Stalking, and Rape Report. The report provides data on domestic violence, rape, stalking, sodomy, and sexual battery incidents reported to the KBI by state and local law enforcement agencies across the state of Kansas. KOFO's Jeff Brewer.
The report revealed a 1.3% increase in domestic violence incidents despite a steady decline over the past 5 years. Kansas, however, saw a nearly 37% decrease in domestic violence-related homicides. However, data so far this year indicates an equally high increase. Executive Director of the Kansas Coalition Against Sexual and Domestic Violence, Joyce Grover, says that all domestic violence is a serious crime but often goes unreported, so the numbers in the report are just the tip of the iceberg on actual incidents. Jeff Brewer, KOFO News.
A domestic violence incident is reported in the state every 23 minutes, and a domestic violence arrest occurs every 46 minutes. The exclusive KOFO Weather Center forecast. Tonight, patchy fog before midnight, then patchy fog after 5 tomorrow morning. Otherwise, partly clear, the low 48. Tomorrow, patchy fog before 8 tomorrow morning. Otherwise, partly clear, the high 67. Tomorrow night, overcast, the low 43. Friday, a 20% chance of showers, partly sunny, with the high of 55. I'm Sean Torres, KOFO News.
KOFO, your sports source for East Central Kansas, welcomes you to the Pizza Time Kent Kessinger Show. Brought to you by Pizza Time and Bob Allen Ford. You're invited to join us live at Pizza Time in downtown Ottawa for food and drink specials as we talk OU Braves football with head coach Kent Kessinger. If you can't join us live, we invite your questions for Coach K via Facebook or Twitter at KOFO Radio or email KOFO@KOFO.com. Now, here's your host of the Pizza Time Kent Kessinger Show, Bob Johnson.
Welcome into the show. Bob Johnson with you live from Pizza Time. It is a Wednesday night. We're a little off schedule.
High school playoffs.
High school playoffs play a role in everything, and that's why we're on tonight instead of last night. So we appreciate you sticking with us, everyone that's listening, except I do believe we're still down on the internet, so the only way right now is over the airwaves. So, but the show will be posted later online.
I'd like a podcast.
Yes.
Bob Johnson podcast.
The podcast spectacular. That's what it is. Well, that voice that you hear is the head coach of Ottawa University football team himself, Mr. Kent Kessinger. And Coach, well, there's really no good way to talk about last weekend's game. It was not
Made it home safely.
That was a positive.
Made it home safely. Good pizza.
No tires exploded.
No, we didn't have any. We didn't have issues getting there or coming back. It was just always, it was all in between.
Yeah, it was so quiet. I thought we were in a library on the way back.
Yeah, well, that's actually maybe a good thing, especially with kids nowadays, getting them focused and that sort of thing. I think maybe they're learning a little bit as we go. Early games, this might have been what we might consider a jovial mood, which we definitely don't like to have. I mean, you gotta learn some things, lessons in life, and sometimes they're tough lessons, but they're still lessons. So hopefully we can get a little feedback. Hopefully we can get things going back here again. Our kids can learn some things from this last week and be able to apply it to Southwestern.
Braves lost 41-7 last week out in Sterling, and it did not start well and it did not end well, other than able to get a touchdown on the board near the end of the game. But it felt like the team just couldn't get it going.
We had some of our same issues that we've had over the year, where we're moving the ball and then all of a sudden something happens, either a turnover or in this case it was we just stalled out. We had some good plays offensively. We moved the ball fairly decent at times. And then there's other ones where we just couldn't move it at all. And then defensively, same thing. We got to the point where we were making some stops, and then we'd be giving up big plays, and it seemed like we couldn't stop an outside route to save our hind end this last week, and that's usually been pretty good for us. So it's just kind of one of those things, the culmination of a lot of different deals. We lose Connor Byers in the second quarter. To when he was sliding, and to what I considered won't be called a late hit, but when a quarterback gives himself up, it's basically kind of it's a personal foul, for a late hit type thing. Is when a receiver is a defenseless or quarterback gives himself up, those type of things, you're supposed to get protected, and he didn't get protected very well on that one, so he was out. And managed ourselves with a little bit with James Valentine, and actually Jack Garcia came in and played pretty well for us and allowed us to move the football a little bit. But we were just a little off kilter on offense for sure because of that.
And I would imagine that is the pizza time, what cheesed you off moment there when the officials did not blow that as a penalty. I think we've seen much worse get called for a penalty.
Oh yeah.
Or less than that get called for penalty. I'm sorry.
There was a call later in the game that our quarterback barely got hit, and there was a roughing call on it, and it's just the consistency has been a little bit to be desired for, I guess.
Well, it's kind of been that way for a while, but we'll leave that one alone. I don't want any phone calls.
I mean, Sterling's a good football team, and I told our guys that and I think we talked about it before the game, is there was going to be special teams issues, that we had to make sure that, not issues, but we're going to have to win the battle of the special teams, and we didn't win that. There was some pretty good returns. There was that we didn't punt the ball very well at times. We didn't win the special teams part, and then I also told our guys, and we mentioned before the game, that we were going to have to play at the same intensity level, and there was times that we did, and the times that we didn't usually resulted in big plays for them.
And Sterling being the top of the conference, you're right. You knew you were coming in for a tough game. They were ranked 18th and still are 18th after last week. But we've seen Braves teams in the past be able to play up to their competition, and it has seemed like at times this year they just have not been able to do so. It felt like to me, though, especially on that bus ride home, that maybe there was a sense of shame almost by the players. Do you feel that they maybe maybe it's kind of hit that we've got to pick up our intensity?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know quite how to answer that, other than I think that as we've gone through these last 2 days of practice, it's definitely been a much different and better feel than it has been sometimes this year. And part of it maybe it was because it was Halloween, and we have a young man that lives right down where we practice all the time, and he usually comes out and watches us. Little first or second grader named Evan, and Evan came down wearing his football uniform on Tuesday night, and so we had an opportunity where we were going to do a good on good segment, and we put Evan in at running back, and he ran and scored, and the whole team just kind of followed him down the field and got around him, and it was one of those things where the little kid had fun, and so the big kids were having fun because the little kids were having fun. And I think that made a difference as we went through practice. There's times they got to remember that there's a lot of life lessons that you can learn in the game of football, but it's still a game too, and you have to have fun. And so we did some things a little different to have a little bit more fun. Today, I think they had a pretty good demeanor as we went through practice.
So in that sense, as a coach, you have different kids, really every 4 years, but there's always something new every year, and you have to try to kind of find a way to relate. In a sense, is this maybe I don't want to say an epiphany, but a moment for not only the players but for the coaching staff to say, hey, okay, maybe here's the way to reach out.
And some of it is you're always looking to be able to read your guys. That's I can even tell you going back to 2009, 2010, at times it took us a while to get a read on everybody and how do they work. What's the button that so if Bob Johnson was playing for me, what's the right button to push to be able to get the most out of him? And it might be this button or that button, or if you a lot of times in the kids nowadays, if you try to correct them, they think that you're criticizing them, and so they don't handle that very well. And then there's other ones that they'll come in and say, hey coach, what can I do better? I want to be better. I want this, I want that, and they're very driven, and so it's just finding the right balance to be able to work with those kids and get the most out of them.
And that is a big key there, but it is good to see that maybe something like that has been found, and I think maybe you're right, and I think it's something for everybody, no matter what they do, is trying to find a way to have some fun.
Well, and the other thing is you got to remember we're still a pretty young team when it comes to the experience that we have on our team. I mean, if you look at our seniors that we have 14 seniors that will be wrapping up their career here in the next 2 games. And as you look at it, there's a lot of those seniors, even them have only been here a couple years. You got 4-year guys like Clint Godfrey and Jake Jones that have been here for 4 years, and I'm trying to think of them all on the top of my head. But then you've got a lot of 2-year guys. A guy like Marky Beltram's only been here for a season. John Dawson's been here for 2 seasons. Elisha Allen's been here for 2 seasons. There's a lot of guys that have only been in our program for a short period of time, and there's not very many of those upperclassmen. So if you look at your juniors and your sophomores and your freshmen, obviously the freshmen are all brand new, but we have a lot of sophomores and juniors that are playing for us, and they're not experienced within our system, and that is something that I think that at this point we've gone through 8 weeks of the season, or 9 weeks of the season. We got 10 and 11 coming up here of playing games, and you had a couple more. Now we're getting to the point where the freshmen aren't freshmen anymore; they're basically sophomores, and the sophomores are juniors, and the juniors have the experience to be seniors, and so. Yeah, hopefully it's clicking, and because they're maturing.
And I really think one of the things that you brought to my attention earlier in the year with the kids is it's not just the ones that are out on the field, it's also what you're missing too. There's a large group of players that would have played a major role for this team, and I know that has played a role. But does that affect a team's psyche, knowing that?
Yeah, I mean, well, if you looked at us last spring as opposed to last fall, we were able to do the things that we talked about at the beginning of the year, coming in and making big plays and being able to create those. And when you lose some of those big play people, you have to have people step up, and we've had some really great kids step up and be able to help us out. I look at guys like freshman James Reeder, Blaine Saxon, who have moved into offensive starting positions. You look on defense like Jacob Garcia that has come in and been able to earn a starting position. You've had games like from Mauricio Uribe, who's a senior for us, and been a 3-year member of our team that have been able to have big games for us at times, and so people have stepped up. But you go into a situation where you would have had 2 or 3 more of those guys. That's a big deal. It's a real big deal.
We'll take our first break of the night right here, and we will talk more. We also will talk about this weekend's game. Final 2 games are at home for Ottawa University, and I can't tell you the last time when that happened. It's been quite a while. So a good opportunity to take a look at your local hometown team 2 more times, this Saturday and a week from this Saturday at People's Bank Field. We're going to talk about the game with Southwestern. We do have Homer Call lined up for this week. Should be a lot of fun to pick a winner for Homer Call. As
it's becoming one of my favorite segments. So we've done some nice ones with Homer Call, with what cheeses you off. I like that.
Yeah.
From playing the pyramid, which I haven't done well at, but I still like it.
Well, we do what we can. It's a potpourri of happiness.
Potpourri, that's a big word.
There it is. Hey, that's my liberal arts. That's my liberal.
Right there.
Yes, it is. We'll be back. You're listening to the Pizza Time Kent Kessinger Show here on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO.
A college education means more today than ever before. And that's why Ottawa University strives to equip our students with the education needed to enter the workforce prepared to make an impact. With the addition of engineering, Ottawa University now offers 22 majors at the campus in Ottawa, Kansas, with even more programs available online. Contact us today to find out more at ottawa.edu or by calling 800-755-5200.
Ford President's Award-winning dealership, locally owned, and the lowest pricing on new Fords in Kansas City. For huge savings, visit Bob Allen Ford and choose from new 2017 Ford Escape SEs as low as $299 per month or $19,881 after the Ford rebates. How about a stylish new 2017 Ford Fusion SE as low as $279 per month or $18,500 after the Ford rebates. Shop online from 2 great locations in Overland Park at boballenford.com and now in Ottawa, Kansas at boballenfordottawa.com. Excludes taxes and fees, 75-month term with approved credit.
The new Ottawa Care Clinic inside Cosentino's Price Chopper is there for you to treat minor illnesses such as flu and the common cold, sinus infections, ear infections, fever, ringworm, as well as minor injuries including abrasions or burns. No appointment is necessary to see one of the clinic's experienced and caring advanced registered nurse practitioners. The Ottawa Care Clinic inside Price Chopper, available now for your convenience. Call 785-214-4903.
Hey pros, listen up. Lowe's has an offer that puts more money toward your bottom line. Now through November 3rd, open and use a Lowe's business credit account and you'll get 10% off your first purchase. It's a great way to save 10% on all the supplies you need and the tools you need to get the job done right. We have pro-grade brands you can trust to help you tackle your next job, and the next, and the next. See the Pro Desk at your nearest Lowe's to get your discount and for more details. Offer subject to credit approval, U.S. only.
In 50 feet, turn left. Why are you driving so slowly?
After a few drinks, I'm taking it slow.
Well, you're not fooling the cop behind you.
What?
Get ready to pay in 0.1 miles.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Back here on the Pizza Time Kent Kessinger Show. Come on down and join us. We'll be here till the top of the hour. Here's an Astros fan walking by as the World Series game is on. And I think we're going to go CBS News on this one in the year 2000. And we've come up with a theory. The Houston Astros will win this game tonight.
Yeah, probably.
And it all has to do with that it's fixed. Mainly just to give Houston something to cheer about because of what happened with the hurricane.
Right. And then so Coach Pearson doesn't gloat.
And that's I don't really want to talk about that come. Oh, there's an error right there. The ball gets away. Houston scores. It's 1-0 Astros in the top of the first. Whoa, I just broke into baseball play-by-play.
That was pretty good. You need a little bit more space.
Well, let me tell you, Denny Matthews is at the mic. I'm going to go play with my trains when this game is over, and there's a single. He likes trains, by the way. Yes, he does.
I didn't know that.
I met him at one of the Kansas Association of Broadcasters Media Fatty Job Fair Sports Seminar things.
Right. Uh-huh.
And, yeah, hockey and trains.
Hockey?
He's a big hockey fan.
Fits in well with you.
And when Fred White was still alive, met him too, and we talked CFL football because he actually broadcast CFL games for ESPN in the early 80s. So yeah. So besides the WWE and the NBA being fixed, this game tonight is fixed.
Okay, that's our guess.
That's our guess. That's what we're going to go here with tonight.
I saw somebody on Twitter posted just a shout out to all those people that have not watched a baseball game in its entirety at all this season and will watch tonight.
Yes, because everyone cares about a Game 7.
Game 7.
Yeah.
That's the most exciting thing about sports is the playoffs.
Well, you know what? Bar none, the best playoffs, NHL. Period. End of story.
It's pretty good.
I can tell you right now, my senior year of high school, I probably could have had better grades had I not stayed up till all hours of the night watching
the NHL.
Because my father had the big C-band satellite dish.
Oh, yeah.
And that was back in the day before there were blackouts and everything.
Right.
So you got the Canadian feeds and everything else.
Wow.
Yeah, there were a lot of late nights there. So I could have had better grades. My mom's listening. I just broke kayfabe right there and told something that's true. So,
there you go.
Hi, Mom. Oh, Astros just stole third base. So, okay. Anyway, insert your joke there. Well, so you've had a couple of good days of practice, getting ready for Southwestern. How, first of all, you may not answer this, and that's fine. How is Connor doing after this weekend, and do we expect to see him play?
Yeah, he's been fine. He's been taking all the reps at the first position. I mean, I've been the last couple of weeks because he got dinged up and everything. I've been kind of getting as many reps as I can for him when he's healthy. Him, also James and Jack. Just so so we're ready to go. A couple weeks ago, remember we had the 3 quarterbacks in a series drive for us, but it's good to be able to make sure that we get keep on bringing them along because you never know how it's going to go in a game. So it's been nice to be able to get some reps to Jack. He's done a good job of moving back and forth between receiver and quarterback, and and James has been solid in getting reps all year, so it's good to be able to have some depth, in a position and building some depth. But it's going to be the guys around him. Also, I think we seem to be fairly healthy. I mean, we still hobble a little bit in our running back spots, but we seem to be pretty good there. Hopefully, we're okay in the receiver position. We're gonna play without Connor Cox as our second tight end this week. Got concussion this last week in the game against Sterling, but we have some other people that we've been rolling into some different personnel packages. So it'll be something again when you see Ottawa on the field on Saturday. You might see, if you're paying attention, you'll You'll see a little different tweaks here and there, but that's kind of the way that we've been doing it every week, anyways.
Oh, now I actually have to pay attention this week.
You might have to. You might see some different things in there. But
Oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do that.
every once in a while, the Mad Hatter will pull a play out too. So
Little foreshadowing.
maybe we'll see.
That actually led into my next question, and with it's the final 2 games of the year, and obviously you always want to go out and win, but would we see maybe some younger kids out there getting some playing time, getting acclimated for the season to come?
Well, most of them are already out there. No, we got quite a few young guys that have been rotating in over the last couple of weeks. I mean, in our offensive line, it's been a pretty solid group, but we've been rotating, 5 to 7 guys, in the games anyways, and we've played quite a few receivers, and we've played at least 3 running backs, over the last several weeks. So they're already doing that, and defensively we've played quite a few guys in the defensive line, and they're all pretty young. I mean, we've gotten guys like Moses Jackson in there, who's a true freshman. Leland McKinney, obviously playing Jacob Garcia quite a bit. Other guys that have been getting some playing time have been Sam Whitty's been getting a little playing time. Uriah Bates Manley, Isaiah Veal has been getting playing time. We've been able to put some different packages together to kind of highlight some of the guys' strengths. So, we've I think last week we played about 53 to 55 guys, and we've been averaging around 50 guys a game. So that's quite a few people.
Well, and not to just be one to blow smoke and sunshine, because, well, if you know me, I don't typically do that anyway. But I think there's a lot of things to be excited about, especially with some of those defensive linemen, the young kids. When they've been in there, they have really performed well.
Yeah, we've got some different, types of kids in there when it comes to sizes and speed, and they all need to get bigger. I mean, that's going to be the thing. But they're gaining some very valuable experience, and we've been playing a lot of tough people. For Southwestern is a good football team. They've really improved over last year. This is, I think, going into the third season that Coach Griffin's been there. It's 2 or 3. I think it's 3. Third season of Coach Griffin, and he's really done a good job of bringing in some pretty good talent. They're pretty strong in their defensive line, and I think their offense has been very consistent, with what they're doing, and I think that's something that shows great improvement. So it's not going to be an easy task, but the nice thing about it is, for our standpoint, is our guys have been getting quite a bit of experience, and that's when you're looking at teams that are trying to build and continue to build. And I told our guys this week that we may have 2 games left, but last Sunday I said you got 13 more days of getting better in the game of football when you can compete with the helmets and the shoulder pads and build yourselves for not only these next 2 games, but also for as you continue on in your career. And so I think that's a mindset hopefully that our kids are continuing to take, and that means young guys get an opportunity.
Well, I would think, now this is just me, but then again, I'm an old guy now, but I would take that not really just as a challenge, but hey, here's an opportunity to make a statement for next year when, if everything goes to plan, this team really, I think, has the potential to be in the top of the conference.
Well, you look at it, anytime you got players, they'll usually come in pretty confident about their abilities, and as coaches, what we're looking for is them to prove those potentials, And, so a kid will come up, hey, Coach, why am I not getting playing time? And my first thing I'll say is, what are you doing? What are you doing to prepare yourself? What are you showing us? What's your productivity? When you're getting there, are you knowing what you're doing? Are you having opportunities to make plays? And when you do, are you making plays? And so these are opportunities for them to do that in practice and games and everything in between.
And let's be honest, a win for the final 2 weeks of the season, I think also helps to build confidence and give you a nice boost for the 2018 season.
It sure does, and I think that these are 2 games that, just with the way this conference aligns, they're going to be tough, but there are definitely things that, as you look at each team, there's matchup our whole conference matches up well with each other. That could be an interesting play out in the scenario is when our conference, champion, whoever it is that gets into the playoffs, goes and meets these outside teams, is how that matchup is really being related on a national level. Because as we go through the conference, there's nobody without a loss. Everybody's kind of beat up on somebody somehow or another. There's a very big logjam of guys after the first two that are all basically very similar in record and who they may have beaten, etc.
And a couple of wins also would get you over 500 for the conference season, which is not a bad thing either. But yeah, Sterling top of the conference. They're ranked 18th. Tabor's tied. Same record, but they'll take second place. They're 19th ranked. So, there's a good opportunity that those two could sneak into the playoffs. You would definitely, if things held out, Sterling would get in. But
they both would have to. Sterling's got our best opportunity right now because of the head-to-head with Tabor. And they would probably be one of the I think it's going to be right about 15. I think at number 15 is going to be the last team in that's an at-large. So if Tabor was to be in the playoffs, they're going to have to jump a lot of points here in the next two weeks. And I don't know if there's enough teams that are playing each other that's ranked in the nation for that to happen.
All right, we're going to take a break here right now. When we come back, another error there. No, that's the end of the inning. 2-0 Astros heading to the bottom of the first. But when we come back, we're going to talk about this game with Southwestern on Saturday. It's going to be a tough one because mainly you don't know which Southwestern team you're going to get. And right now they're running a little bit hot, 2-game winning streak, but we'll talk more about it. You're listening to the Pizza Time Kent Kessinger Show here on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO.
A college education means more today than ever before. And that's why Ottawa University strives to equip our students with the education needed to enter the workforce prepared to make an impact. With the addition of engineering, Ottawa University now offers 22 majors at the campus in Ottawa, Kansas, with even more programs available online. Contact us today to find out more at ottawa.edu or by calling 800-755-5200.
The new Ottawa Care Clinic inside Cosentino's Price Chopper is there for you to treat minor illnesses and injuries, including abrasions or burns. No appointment is necessary to see one of the clinic's experienced and caring advanced registered nurse practitioners. The Ottawa Care Clinic inside Price Chopper, open Monday, Thursday, and Friday, 11 until 7. Saturday, 9 till 4. Sundays, 9 until 3. Call 785-214-4903.
Okay, clogged pores. I've had it. You think I don't notice your pesky blackheads? It's all I see. Why else would I be dodging photos, yelling back up, zoom out, not so close? But now, I've got Biore Deep Cleansing Charcoal Pore Strips. With natural charcoal, they pluck out stubborn dirt, oil, and even blackheads in just one strip. So go ahead, snap away. With Biore, I have finally found the skin of my dreams.
Biore, free your pores.
There are certain people you can always trust. Your grandma, your grandma's friends, lifeguards, action movie heroes who tell you to trust them. But there's no one you can trust more than your doctor. And when it comes to their own frequent heartburn, doctors and pharmacists trust the power of the purple pill, Nexium 24 Hour. And when you choose Nexium 24 Hour, you'll see why. When it comes to heartburn, trust the brand doctors trust. Nexium 24 Hour. May take 1 to 4 days. Use as directed.
Hi, we're back here on the Pizza Time Kent Kessinger Show on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO. Had people look back at us when I said hi. That was pretty awesome.
It's always good.
Yeah.
It's always good.
See if we can...
Sitting in the booth.
Just need to unroll my 50 feet of cable here and just go
walk
out.
Around.
Just with a live mic and talk to people. Just see
questions.
Yeah, see if they had any questions.
Put them on the spot.
Exactly. Ask them weird questions.
like the man on the street.
Yeah, I'm good at that.
There you go.
I can play man on the street just like anybody else. Well, the Braves will play Southwestern on Saturday. It's a 1 o'clock kick. We'll have pregame starting at noon with the Wise Guys Construction Ottawa University Braves pregame show. And then we'll lead you up to 1 o'clock kickoff here on 1220 and 103.7 FM. Southwestern comes in, 2-game winning streak. They beat Bethel 35-7 last weekend, but it was nip and tuck until that fourth quarter when the wheels fell off, or at least the Thresher things fell off for the Threshers.
Yeah, they turned the ball over quite a few times. They were actually moved the ball pretty well against them, and but they turned the ball over and gave short fields and everything for Southwestern. So, like you were talking about, it's just, which Southwestern team are you going to get? They've been pretty consistent, but they played some people pretty tough. As well as, having some games where they've been just okay. But, I look back and I watched a bunch of film on them. Obviously, at this week of this time of the year, you've got every game that they've had. And I've seen a consistent improvement on them. And their defensive line can give you fits, for sure. They do a really good job. They got 2 interior defensive linemen that do a really good job of stopping the run. They've got some defensive ends that are pretty handy in the pass rush game. And they've done some packaging of their defense to where it could give you some fits with some different kind of nickel packages and stuff. But then you go on their offensive side, and they've just been solid.
Yeah, well, and when you take a look, though, at the offensive stats from last Saturday, it really doesn't blow anybody away. Bethel's a good defensive team, so Southwestern really had trouble getting things going, but when you take a look at that defense, though, you've got David Ashelonu, who plays really well. He had 11 tackles in that game. Grant Torgerson had 10, but I think it's Tamunsi, I believe is how you pronounce his name, Tamunsi Whitfield. He had an interception that he took back to the house.
It was early. It was a little out route, and the cover 2 corner just jumped the out, and it was him and a whole lot of turf in front of his path to get to the end zone.
And so that was the only points for Southwestern until the fourth quarter when things fell apart. And 48 plays offensively for Southwestern in that game.
Yeah, that's not a ton of plays.
No, and for 275 yards of offense. So, you're probably looking at it's about what?
And I think that one of their victories was against was it Bethany?
Yes, they knocked off,
and they really they gave Bethany fits, and they moved the ball, and I think it was a 28-14 game. I think it was 4 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns type thing, and Bethany did everything they could, and to be able to come back, and Southwestern just shut them all down. So it's definitely one of those things you can tell. I think that Brad's got some of the same things that we've gone through as having a young and inexperienced team, and sometimes you play here and sometimes you play there, and I think we've gotten everybody's best game, it seems like the Braves have, so I don't expect anything less this Saturday.
Okay, so tell me if I'm wrong here with this assessment, and I'm just out of the blue on here. The Braves defense is going to have to find a way to shut down the rushing game of Southwestern. That seems to be their strong point.
Definitely.
And it looks like if the Braves can get something going passing-wise, Southwestern does seem to have a little bit of a soft spot there. So really for Ottawa in this game, the passing game has got to show up, and the defense has got to find a way, one, to seal the middle part of the field, because that has really been a weak spot, but find a way to just shut down the running game.
Yeah, you have to be able to stop the run, and there's certain plays that that we've had some really good success against this year, and there's ones that we haven't, and you have to think that those guys are going to try to find those and be able to maximize them on the opponent's side. And last year, we didn't have to throw the ball very much against these guys because we ran the ball extremely well. Dalton Beeler probably had close to 200 yards rushing that game, and we really managed the clock, and it was a really physical game for us, and our guys went out and physically put it to them. But I think that this year they're a little bit they've had a little bit more success at this time of the year when we're playing them than maybe they did last year. I think they're a little bit more mature, and so it's going to be that we're going to have to be balanced offensively, and defensively we're going to have to, take away what they do well.
That is going to be a key for victory on Saturday, and I think if the Braves can get some running attack going against Southwestern this year, that's definitely going to go a long way. But turnovers are going to be key. Southwestern can force the turnover, and last weekend there was an issue with some turnovers for Ottawa.
Yes, it's been kind of our thing. So we have to win the turnover battle, and so we have to create some turnovers defensively, which we were able to do a couple weeks ago at home against St. Mary, and we have to be able to take care of the football. And I think that if we do that, we'll obviously put ourselves in a much better position to be able to win.
All right, we're going to take our final break of the evening right here. When we come back, it will be time for Homer Call. We are going to listen to some of the greatness that is KCAC Broadcasting when we come back from the break, and we will pick a winner. The next week, we will have our Homer Call-off between the three winners that we've had this year to decide the ultimate champion.
We might have to bring in some outside, help in order to make it a good vote.
I think that might be a possibility. So a lot on the line with Homer Call coming up. We might even ask for the audience here to pick if they're listening, which it doesn't look like they are. Wait, someone poked a head up back there, so we might have someone listening. But anyway, that's when we come back. You're listening to the Pizza Time Kent Kessinger Show here on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO.
A college education means more today than ever before. And that's why Ottawa University strives to equip our students with the education needed to enter the workforce prepared to make an impact. With the addition of engineering, Ottawa University now offers 22 majors at the campus in Ottawa, Kansas, with even more programs available online. Contact us today to find out more at ottawa.edu or by calling 800-755-5200.
Fast savings, fast service, and we will beat your best price on tires, guaranteed. That's the Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center at Bob Allen Ford. Save big now on tires with rebates up to $140 on these top brands: Goodyear, Pirelli, Bridgestone, Yokohama, and Hankook. Quick Lane, it's for all cars: Ford, Honda, Chevy, Toyota, and any other car in your garage. For huge tire savings this month, visit the Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center at Bob Allen Ford in Overland Park and now Ottawa, Kansas. It's fast, convenient, and we're open 6 days a week.
If you need cash now, you need WeFixMoney.com. WeFixMoney.com could help you get up to $2,000 sometimes by tomorrow. And you don't need perfect credit. It's free to apply and available 24/7 from your computer or smartphone. Get up to $2,000 for rent, bills, childcare, expenses, car repairs, or anything else. Trust WeFixMoney.com. Trust the name you know. WeFixMoney.com.
Stuff. We've all got it. But here's the thing about stuff. We tend to lose it. Wouldn't it be great if there's a little thing called Tile that helps you find your stuff? With a tap on your phone. Hey, there's my keys, or bike, or stuffed Panda Ernie. But what if Tile was more than that? What if Tile was an entire community of people coming together to turn lost stuff into found stuff? Wouldn't that be great?
Visit Tile.com to join a world where everyone can find everything that matters. Tile. Together we find.
Walgreens has good news for everyone who uses Medicare Part B for diabetes testing supplies. We've got your back, or in this case, your test strips. Walgreens accepts Medicare assignment and full coverage supplemental insurance, so you'll pay as low as $0 out of pocket, which is the same as mail order. Pick up the medications you rely on and save on all major brands like One Touch and Walgreens True Metrics. That's not just good news, it's great news. Talk to your Walgreens pharmacist today. Walgreens, at the corner of happy and healthy.
All right, we're back here on the Pizza Time Kent Kessinger Show on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO as we get ready to play Homer Call. Oh, I do need to let people know, if you're interested, we will have the Ottawa City Commission meeting following our broadcast here at the top of the hour. So I just want to let everybody know that it will be played in its full glory as it's being tape delayed for your pleasure. So I just want to pass that along to anybody who might be tuning in wanting to hear that. So here's the rules for Homer Call. I scoured the KCAC website for football play-by-play to find the biggest homer in the conference. And this week I found 3 beauties, all in their own way. Some are a little beautiful on the inside, some are more beautiful on the outside, but they are quite beautiful. And I don't know, can you hear the speaker okay?
I can hear the speaker pretty good.
Okay. If you want to, you could get closer. But let's go ahead. Let's play cut number 1. Zach, cut number 1.
Takes the handoff and pitches it outside. Option pitch to 31. Cooper, who gets lit up on the sideline. Falcons had 3 defenders in front of Cooper, which forced him to try to cut back to his left.
He is stopped by number 7, Tim
It's starting to look like this defense may have been able to make an adjustment as that is a couple plays now on this drive that they've tried getting outside and we haven't.
All right, so I believe that was the Friends broadcast against Tabor. Now, first of all, I've heard more life in the graveyard than what I've heard as far as the play-by-play wins. Second of all, your defense, if they made stop when you're down 22-7 and you think that they've made an adjustment, might be a little late.
It might be. It might be, yes.
I'm just guessing on that one. So that was Friends and Tabor from this last weekend.
That wasn't very lively.
No. That's Friends. That's the big city center of the conference.
It is.
So Ottawa definitely has it.
Mecca.
Yes, so Ottawa definitely has it better than Friends.
Definitely.
So
that goes without saying, Bob.
Well, yes, very, very true. All right, let's go with cut number 2 here. Cut number 2.
So the punt crew comes out for the Bulldogs, and the Spires come out with their punt return team. Back deep is Tay Turner for the Spires. Some late substitutions here by both teams. As Tay Turner is back. Bad snap going back to the punter, and he's going to be tackled in the backfield for a loss, and the Spires will take over at the 19-yard line as a result of the, well, we'll call it a turnover, but it was a situation where it's turned over on downs on the muff punt.
On the muff snap. I mean, the ball bounced into the...
Yeah, it was a muff snap. You've got that right.
Into the kicker's hand, so it was just a bad snap.
But bad snap. A bad snap.
Bad snap.
And it was a turnover on downs. I'm not sure how that works out that way.
He has a very deep voice, the play-by-play guy.
He does.
Way down here.
I've been smoking cigars and drinking very heavily since I was 3.
A whole lot of Jack, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Bar rolls.
Yeah. Although I would kill to have a voice like that, but nevertheless, it was a bad snap. And then the color guy coming in to, to add his 2 cents.
That it was a bad snap.
Yes, that's like John Madden.
Kicker.
That's John Madden-esque right there.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, they throw a flag. That means there's a penalty. Yeah. So
well, a little bit more lively.
A little livelier.
A little bit more lively.
Now. Here comes cut number 3. Cut number 3. Stick to the end though, because you'll hear a little nugget that's gold. And I'll see if you can guess it. Cut number 3.
Swedes here, 3rd and manageable, 3rd and 5 in Coyote territory.
10:38 to go in this first frame. Made up leading by a touchdown, 7-0. 3rd and 5 from the Kansas Wesleyan 25. A wobbly pass thrown by Salazar. Leaping high point catch is made. Backpedaling out of bounds. Rodney Millett pulls it in at the 1-yard line. It's a gain of 24. Blanket coverage over there by Whitaker and Pierce, but Millett pulls it out of the sky, and Bethany has 1st and goal.
Expect the Swedes to take advantage of that matchup all day long. Millett at 6'2". Whitaker stands at just my dad's height of 5'6".
At just my dad's height of 5'6".
That was pretty good. That was more energetic.
Yes.
That was more energetic, and they will take advantage of that, and they will probably have taken advantage of the 1-yard line, but it didn't help the Swedes.
No, it didn't. No. But they're going to take advantage of it all day long.
Yeah. I don't know if that worked out for them.
Not very well. No, not at all.
According to the score.
No, and I mean, when you with your dad's height out there, I could understand why. I guess so.
Wasn't my dad's height because he's 6 foot.
Yeah,
6'1". Probably down to 6 foot now, but with the cowboy boots, 6'3".
Well, my dad was probably 5'3", but with the afro, about 5'7".
There you go.
Oh wait, no.
Man. Usually I go for enthusiasm. I mean, the Iron Potato. That one early in the season. I mean, you can't hardly beat that.
No.
But I'll have to go with the I take advantage of that all night long.
Yes.
And the number 3 with the Bethany Swedes, and I'll have to, even though it is my alma mater, we'll give them the homer call of the week.
I would have to agree. I was kind of, although just in a bad sort of way, the Friends broadcast to me.
Death dirge.
Yes, it's like it seems like it was 2 college kids who just stumbled upon and what you need them. Oh, okay. Thanks for handing me the mic. Okay, I did enjoy. What was it? When he got blasted. Usually you put a little emphasis in there that he got blasted.
Yeah.
And he got blasted.
Yeah.
That's the reason why no one covers Friends games.
Might be.
Yeah.
Might be. So, yeah, Bethany College.
Bethany College, Homer Call of the Week.
Yep.
So, next week, the final episode of the Pizza Time Kent Kessinger Show.
We're sure there are 3 now.
Well, I believe we have the Bethel Call where they guessed about 12 different people who.
Right, yes. That was from last year.
Yeah.
And then we had the Iron Potato.
The Iron Potato.
Okay.
And then,
Bethany College.
yes.
Gotcha.
So we will compare and contrast and pick the 2017 Homer Call champion next week here on the Pizza Time Kent Kessinger Show. And since it is the final one of the year, we might even throw in some 4 questions or play a game too. Because, I mean, other than talking about the final game of the year, there's not much else to go over.
True. Yeah.
So we've got a few minutes.
About the seniors, we can.
We do. We
talk about them.
Bring the seniors in. We can hand them a mic and maybe not.
Yeah, some of them would be all right.
Okay. I trust you on that one.
How much would they talk? You know, would they talk a lot? Would they talk a little? Some of them don't talk very much.
Well, true.
They're just kind of go about their business. And other ones talk a lot, and we would probably want to monitor that.
Well, we did have Darius on that one time.
Yes, we did. We did.
And he did very well.
Radio Gold.
Yes, it was. Well, there have been bits of Radio Gold throughout the entire part of this program. Well, speaking of Radio Gold, Saturday's game with Southwestern, which you'll hear here at 1 o'clock with the kickoff, 12 o'clock for pregame. And we'll have it for you on 1220 and 103.7 FM. Coach, what's your final words here for this week as we head down and wind down for the rest of the regular season?
Well, hopefully our guys continue to just keep on growing and developing. One of the things that we've talked to them about, and there was a really nice quote, and a coach, and we've been talking about this all season. We started off with a guy that came to one of our chapel series, and he talked about Nick Saban talking about the process of what it takes to be successful, and it's about doing little things, and it's about the process and trusting the process. And a lot of times you don't see things through because you quit right before the good stuff happens. And Matt Campbell, who's the head football coach at Iowa State, and they've had some pretty nice upsets this season. He has a nice thing on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook, wherever you want to find it, that talks about trusting the process, because if you keep on doing work day in, day out, you just never know when the process is going to love you back, but it'll love you back at some point. It's when you stop doing that and trusting the process that you don't end up being successful. And so hopefully our guys are doing that, and that shows in our game on Saturday.
I guess I should start trusting the process because I haven't had it love me back yet.
It's just you got to keep on just trusting it. It's kind of like I grew up in central Kansas. I didn't have to do this very often, but they call it when you prime a pump, when you're trying to get well water and that sort of thing, you have to actually add some water in it, and then you just got to keep on pumping and pumping and pumping. And you might get tired, but you got to keep on pumping, because at that point when you want to give up, the water's climbing, and then you stop and it goes back down. And so you just got to keep on going. And so you got to prime the pump a little bit. So that means you have to add a little bit of water, but then you have to do the work. And that's what we want our guys to do. Is hopefully we've given them things to be able to prime the pump, and they just got to continue building and doing the work.
Have you seen growth though through the year?
Oh, definitely. I mean, we got kids that are way more experienced. I think they're starting, particularly some of them, the young ones, to get the concepts, and that's the most important thing for us as coaches. We don't want to memorize in plays. We want them to understand concepts so we can put them in a variety of different positions and be successful. I mean, our receivers need to know all these different positions because we're going to move you around to where we get best matchups, and I think we're starting to see that here toward the end of the year.
And that is something good to see and be able to see some positives. There's no doubt about that. But you know what? I forgot the one thing that I usually do every show is say hi to Amy because she won't come here.
No, she's making sure that the young Caleb Kessinger is at home and behaving.
The stylish Caleb Kessinger.
Yes, he is definitely stylish.
Yeah,
he is definitely stylish. That's for sure.
I mean, I was going to refer to him as the nature boy.
I did have though also one. I've had one person get a hold of me about the distance.
Oh yes.
So right now the current leader in the clubhouse is Bob and Coralie Beaver from Little River, Kansas. Little River is being the farthest listening to the show right now.
Okay, so
we've heard. So the gauntlet's been thrown down.
Yeah, so
Little River, Kansas.
You've got 1 week to
2.5
respond.
hours away.
You've got 1 week to respond. If you're further away than Little River, you got to send an email.
OU gear.
OU gear on the line.
Yep. Email. Either email me at Ottawa University, Kessinger at Ottawa University, or email KOFO at the station.
Yep. KOFO at KOFO.com. I'd give out my personal email, but then I might get flooded with fan mail.
And you don't want that'll go right to your head.
No, I don't want that to happen. Well, that's going to wrap it up here for this week. We have 1 week left to go, and we will be back with you next week for the final edition of the Pizza Time Kent Kessinger Show. Thanks for listening to us here on 1220 and 103.7 FM, KOFO.
Information and entertainment in East Central Kansas. KOFO K279CS Ottawa, where keeping you informed comes first. Information and entertainment in East Central Kansas. KOFO K279CS Ottawa, where keeping you informed comes first. As a public service from